Zoom and YouTube.
Sure, but I need to look at my packet.
Oh, okay.
Make sure you
No, you don't need to unmute.
Okay, I didn't think so, but I figured I'd check.
No, you don't need to unmute.
Okay,
The only place it's unmuted is the dais until we call on somebody else to speak.
okay, I didn't think so, but it's up there on the screen. I figured I'd check.
You don't unmute.
Okay,
Okay, so this will be my first, all of our first, like, dual functioning thing.
When you're gonna speak, just unmute, when anybody up here on the dais speaks, or anybody over there speaks, or anybody over there speaks, just unmute your microphone in front of you. When the light turns green, go ahead and speak, and you'll hear yourself in the chambers, and they will hear you out on Zoom and on YouTube.
Okay, and then we just have to make sure whoever's speaking agrees. to the
Right.
microphone.
And if whoever is on Zoom is speaking and they unmute, you'll hear them through the speakers in the chambers.
Okay, and are you operating that from here then?
It's already set. So if nobody touches it, it just
Okay.
runs.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
super. Okay, sounds good.
Yes,
Do I
ma'am.
need to unmute to take roll,
Yes.
even if I talk loud?
Pull your mask down and use your outside voice and the speakers will pick you up just fine. Go ahead. You guys are hot.
All right.
Out to the world.
I've been called that for several years.
All right, good evening. We're going to call the meeting to order and have the pledge of allegiance. So all rise to the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, I'm vice chair, so I'm going to be chairing until Robert Ryan gets here, and that should be shortly. So, but let's go to item number 2 on tonight's agenda, the approval of minutes for April 2021. Would anyone like to discuss the minutes?
Madam Chair.
Vice Chair, I would like to make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second that.
Okay, and I actually found a correction. So it's now time to discuss now that we have a second. Just in the attendance, it doesn't mention that the city attorney was there. They're not listed as a participant, and they were there. So I guess can we add Mike Green as, I don't know what he is he staff, is he contract, but either way. Oh, yay! Okay, okay, sorry.
Demoted.
I know, sweet, I'm gonna hand this over now. So, now what, who would like to, we're just on the minutes, so.
Okay. You amended it
Yeah.
to include Green.
Yes, I would like to instead ask you guys to revoke your motion.
Okay, I'll revoke my second.
Okay, and then, is that right? Can I make a motion to amend the agenda to include Mike Green's attendance on, I guess, on bullet point 1? Yes.
That's a motion.
That would be a motion.
I second.
Thanks.
No, sorry.
Any more discussion about that? Robert, how are you feeling about the minutes?
I was okay with them, but there's always be something that I might have missed.
So I guess can we take a vote? Go ahead. Okay, so you get to call the vote?
Okay. Do I include Robert?
Yeah, and then I'll pass it off to Robert after that.
Punch it again.
Candelaria,
Yes.
McDaniel,
Yes.
Levy,
Yes.
Butler,
Yes.
Remy,
Yes. Yes.
Minutes approval of the minutes, Robert.
That was approval of minutes.
Now's the time, yeah.
Okay, so move on to item 3, business of the commission.
No, we hadn't approved minutes yet.
That's what we were just voting on.
That was an amendment to the minutes.
Yeah.
In addition to it, now the minutes have to be approved. I make the motion to approve the minutes of the last P and Z meeting.
Wait, as a minute, because I made a motion to approve the minutes out with the amendment.
Well, yeah,
Okay, so you're just, okay, so confusing. All right.
Was there a second to your motion?
I'll second.
You're seconding Tom's motion to approve the minutes as amended? Is that,
Correct.
is there a second to your motion to amend?
Well, I don't know. We already voted on that, so I'm super confused.
I was the second to that
Okay,
motion, so that was moved and seconded. And I think we're going to go now, so I think we can call vote.
Butler,
yes,
Candelaria,
Yes.
McDaniel,
Yes.
Levy,
Yes.
Remy.
yes. So now we move on to item 3, business, correct?
mhm,
Okay, first item, review of site plan to construct a retail marijuana facility, and Tracy, just give us the update.
Good evening, Commissioners. So this is a new view application, which is a site plan review for a retail marijuana facility at 503 Patton Street. And this is for the development aspect of this application. This will not handle the retail marijuana licensing aspect, which was discussed by council already. And they've addressed that side of this application. The proposal is to construct a 2,400 square foot building on a 1.64 acre lot. The proposal is to install 17 parking spaces. The land use code requires 16, using a combination of retail marijuana and office space. So this is exceeding that requirement by one parking space. 70% of the site will be landscaped. The parking area and driveway will be landscaped at 11% of that area, which is slightly over the minimum required, which is 10% of the parking area and driveways. They're proposing 2 new trees and 29 shrubs, and existing trees that are currently on the site will be retained as well. The building will meet all area standards for setbacks, lot coverage, and height for the commercial highway zoning district. Agency comments were received, and of note, only real changes were that the plans need to be updated for a little bit of mix up on that addressing, which was corrected. And Public Works requested offsite improvements to the pedestrian crossing at 145 and 160. And the applicant has submitted a letter responding to that request, stating that they do not feel this is required and they are not proposing to install the requested crossing facilities. So this application is going forward without that being included by that. With that, staff recommends that planning commission recommends approval to council with the listed conditions as written in the staff report.
Any questions for Tracy or comments?
I have a few questions. The first question that I have is, typically we request that all city departments and utility providers and what have you, special districts are satisfied, correct? So one of the things that we mentioned, obviously, for Public Works is the offsite improvements, and I read their response. Do we know if that response is satisfied by our Public Works department?
Our Public Works Department would like to see the improvements, but did not provide an additional response to the letter from the applicant.
Have they seen the letter?
Yes. Phil Johnson is here. We'd like to ask him if he would like to speak to that issue.
Stephen? would you
Bill, you
like-
have any comment to make on the offsite improvements?
Good evening, commission members. I think that the applicant responded that it's not a requirement, it's not, we have no means and methods to make a requirement stipulation. But, my perspective is that it was called out several times during the hearing with city council about that being the safest route for pedestrians to make it to their facility, but there are no pedestrian facilities to get there. There's a pork chop, which is a right-hand turn on the westbound lane, going 145 that has no infrastructure crossing it for, pedestrians. They have one ADA crossing in the pork chop on the west side of that intersection, that's driving traffic south, walking traffic. So, while I'm not going to, that's why I didn't respond, as Tracy said, requiring it, because I can't require it. It's off-site, they're meeting the requirements of the land use code. But it was about, for me, what's right and just. If they're gonna, the applicant is gonna say that they want to, they take this route for pedestrian safety, there aren't any safe ways for them to get there. That just seems like a reasonable. But, it doesn't, it's not going to take me to that stop. I'm not going to put the city in a position where we're going to say, I want this to be required, and not, and end up being muddying up the water. Just a request for what I thought was reasonable.
Thank you.
So Phil, what I'm hearing you say is that it's not a requirement, but it would be a reasonable and prudent thing to do in the eye of public safety.
Yes, sir. That's my perspective.
So if they don't follow the recommendation and then somebody gets hurt, who's gonna get sued?
I'm not a lawyer.
Okay.
Thank God. You're supposed to follow that with thank God.
Any other questions for Phil or Tracy?
Was someone else going to ask a question? I don't know. On the west side of the property, I noticed I looked at the property line on the GIS website, and then I also looked obviously here on the plans. But it looks like a Chimley Street is running through this property on the west side. Is that something that's going to be addressed through means of easement on the plat? Or is that easement going to be drawn? Or is that any issue that we have any concern of?
So, this project did come with application for a minor subdivision. Chimney Street does not currently have an easement. I'm not totally sure of the history of that, but the applicant on the minor subdivision has dedicated an easement version. So that, for the site plan application is not, how we would handle that here, but that is in their application for the minor subdivision. Did state, condition G, the plat for the subdivision of the property must be approved and recorded prior to issuance of the building permit.
Those are my questions.
Anyone have anything else?
Tracy, I know the limit is 1,500 feet. Do we know how far it is from their property to Swo's?
I do not know off the top of my head. It is over 15.
But it's over 1,500 and as well as the church. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the church, but that's not one of the protected entities.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Rebecca, anything?
Can I just have some clarification on process? If they submitted a site plan application and a minor subdivision application, but they're not going forward concurrently, or P and Z doesn't have to review the minor site plan?
Correct, P and Z doesn't review the minor site plan. In our code does
Or minor
allow.
subdivision, sorry. No, I'm sorry, it's my bad. So your code does allow.
Concurrent applications.
So then, if that were the case, then we wouldn't have a chance to comment on whatever that random Chambly Street is for conformance with a major street plan and as a subdivision in our city limits. Because, so basically I'm saying, if we're not reviewing our own subdivision applications, then we're not reviewing them for conformance with the major street plan. Does that seem kind of strange? So when would we have a chance to comment on asking that there be an easement if that were the case? If that's such a thoroughfare is identified on.
The planning commission would not, staff would be tasked with
Okay,
a minor subdivision, but there's also the big question, this is off topic with you, but a minor subdivision would trigger dedication of an arterial street, so another topic. You can circle back to.
so but that would be somehow, there is a mechanism to address that, I guess is my concern.
Council would have to address that, because that application goes to city council.
Okay, and, okay, all right. And so staff will bring that up for review for that, and not something we don't have to do. Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Guess I would entertain a motion then.
We need to open it up to
Oh, public hearing?
hearing. And I'm not, one of the applicants did have their hand raised, I think they maybe withdrawn that, but they may also want to speak during the public. So I think IT might be monitoring the call on someone whose hand is raised. By Zoom.
Okay, I guess I didn't see the public hearing on here, but we'll open it up for public hearing. If any resident wants to make a comment, make sure to state your name and address. Is there any such person that wants to do that?
I see no hands raised.
Okay, seeing none, we'll close the public hearing and I guess I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to recommend approval of the site development plan for the construction of the new retail marijuana facility at 503 Patton Street, as submitted by agent Paul Julian, agent for the property owner 4740 Dillon Drive LLC, P and Z Resolution Number 3, Series 2021, with the following conditions A through G.
Is there a second to the motion?
I would second that.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Let's proceed to vote then.
McDaniel,
Yes.
Levy,
Yes.
Butler,
Yes.
Candelaria,
Yes.
Riney,
Yes. Let's move on to item B then, county development. Review the general plan. Neva, would you like to update us on this, please?
So this is county development. Paul and Dana Wayne have applied to the county for a general plan unit development and a rezoning application on property at 11-187 Highway 145. This is across from Fairway Drive. It's just north of the city limits. The proposal is to create 8 lot subdivision ranging from 5 to 9 acre lots with general plan unit development zoning. The remainder of the acreage will remain agricultural. And you can see from the map, they have existing access off of 145 and plan to take all access from that point at the very southeast corner of the property. There is an existing residence on lot 1. It does have a city water tap, and the subdivision plans to use city water. They have turned in a pre-annexation agreement for water services to the Public Works Department. So at this time, staff recommends approval with the conditions that city council approve this out of city water taps and that the existing city water utilities are shown on the final plat with appropriate easements. That's about all I have for this.
Any questions from anyone? Yes, I have one. If they don't get the city water tap, what are the alternative plans for water?
I'm not sure, but I know that Montezuma Water Company services the area, so.
Any questions? I guess I would entertain a motion then.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to make a motion to authorize the P and Z chairman to sign the plat of the William General Plan unit development located at 11187 Highway 145 with signature block number 1 for compliance with the master streets plan. Recommend approval of the following of the proposed rezoning to GTD with the following conditions A and B.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Let's proceed to vote then. Let's proceed to vote.
Levy,
Yep.
Butler,
Yes.
Candelaria,
Yes.
McDaniel,
Yes.
Green,
Yes. Next item is the review of proposed subdivision in the county. And Neva, you're up again.
Okay, so this is a subdivision amendment. P and Z Commission reviewed the original subdivision in June of 2020. Russell and Marsha Hindmarsh Trust has applied to the county for an amendment at property located at 28339 Road N. And the property is currently 4 acres in size, and the applicants are requesting a boundary adjustment of 0.6 acres to be added to the adjacent 78-acre property. So you can see on the screen, this little half acre is going to be absorbed by the Triple S Farms property. And this won't affect current access at all, so staff recommends approval of the subdivision amendment.
Any questions for Neva? So I would entertain a motion then.
I'm gonna beat you, Stephen, this time.
What's that?
I'm gonna beat you this time.
No, I'm good with it. Moving along, I like it.
Practicing reading out loud. I'd like to make a motion to direct the chair to sign the plat for subdivision amendment on property owned by Russell Marshall and Marsh Trust located at 28339 Road in Dolores, Colorado, consisting of one approximately 3.46 acre lot on property in Montezuma County within the 3 mile urban influence area with signature block number 1 for compliance with the master street plan.
Second.
Got a motion and a second, is there any discussion? Seeing none, let's proceed to vote.
Butler,
Yeah.
Candelaria,
Yes.
McDaniel,
Yes.
Levy, Reedy.
Yes. Next item on the agenda is another county development review. And Neva, update us again.
Okay, we're looking at another proposed subdivision amendment on the Hobo Acres minor subdivision lot 2. There are currently this property is located on H and Route 7. There are currently 2 residences on this 20-acre lot. And the property owners of these residences would like to split the property right down the middle for 2 10-acre properties or parcels. While I'm not sure that's a subdivision amendment would create new lots, it's not our process, so we don't get a comment on that. The accesses there are no new access proposed for these lots. They will take their existing access off of Route H. So staff does recommend approval for compliance with the master street plan for this project.
Any questions for Neva? I'll entertain the motion then.
I'm not getting in between you two.
No, please.
Mr. Chairman, I'll like to make a motion to direct the chair to sign the plat for the subdivision amendment on lot 2 of the Hobo Acres subdivision on property in Montezuma County within the 3 mile urban influence area. The signature block number 1 for compliance with master streets.
Second.
Got a motion and a second, any further discussion? Hearing none, let's proceed to vote.
Levy,
Yes.
Butler,
Yeah.
McDaniel,
Yes.
Candelaria,
Yes.
Reedy.
Yes. Next item then is citizen participation. You want to address the commission? State your name and address. Seeing none here, any hands raised on Zoom? Seeing none, I guess we'll go on to the discussion items. Master Street Plan update. Tracy, is that you?
Yes. So at the last meeting, staff was directed to make a plan for public outreach and take the manual edits to the map that we had used magic markers to edit and formalize them into an electric document, and you have that in the packet now. Also, I went ahead and edited the text based on the suggestions that were heard at the workshop back in March, and I bulleted those suggestions in the last staff report. So that included more background on the conditions of Cortez or annexation, likelihood, and added policy information on how we would apply the master street, what types of projects this would apply to. So those are also included in your packet. The plan staff is proposing for public outreach is to have, we could have one Zoom meeting in May just to kind of touch base with the public and update them on the process and where we're at. And then staff is proposing in June that we have we have 2 more in-person meetings with the public, and we'll give a short presentation and then have kind of breakout stations where they can interact with the maps themselves and upload or download items and put comments on sticky notes on the map. Having this in June will give us more time to advertise it, and knowing what our plan is and that everyone's on board with the plan. And all feedback received at that, those 2, and then we were also, staff is proposing that 2 planning commissioners attend each meeting, so we can have them on 2 different timeframes, so that we'll give people the option to show up at those different times. And that way you don't have to come to 2 meetings, you only have to come to 1. And then all that feedback would be compiled and reported back at the July 6th planning commission meeting for hopefully a final discussion on that feedback and what the final drafts will look like. So, you know, a couple of other things. In your packet, I included 2 versions of the map, and unfortunately they didn't get titled differently. The one that's on the screen right there is the one that follows 491 with the boundary. And, oh wait, no, this one bumps out, sorry. So this is the one that we discussed bumping out that boundary on the northwest side of the city, rather than following Hartman all the way back to 491 and then just going up to County Road N. So that was one option. That Zoom went way too far out. I'm gonna scroll with the PDFs. So you can see that, you know, here it goes up to the highway and then bumps back over. So that was one choice we need to make, is whether you like that bump out there, or if you want to go back to kind of what we drew on the map of markers, where that purple squiggly line right here just goes up to 491 and doesn't include Highlands Terrace. So those were included in your packet. Also, one other change I did not mention was that we removed, there was an alignment here on 5th Street. So where 5th Street was going all the way over here to Oak, right in here. We did receive a comment from the public, and I'll just read it. Future local street on 500 blocks south between Cedar and Oak Streets would be untenable for residents and properties 490 by 10 South Cedar Street, not enough room for a road. So I received a couple of phone calls, and then we received this in writing. The proposed alignment would have gone very, very close to an existing house, and after we discussed it internally, it was a local street that was proposed, a future local street, which would only serve local residences. And we just didn't feel like it was that necessary, and it was actually causing some folks a little bit of consternation. Because it's not an arterial or a collector, and its intended use would only serve individual property owners who would be dedicating the alignments if they developed anyway. It didn't seem prudent to keep it on the map, so we took it off. So we just want to make sure you're aware we did that, and you're okay with that edit to the draft map. So I think that's all I had to say about this. I guess we're looking for direction on the 2 boundaries I just showed you on the northwest side of the city. And then we're wanting any other thoughts on the text or the plan for additional public outreach, and ultimately, you know, our next steps to get this adopted.
Any comments?
Tracy, has any dates been set for these public meetings? Okay,
Not yet, no.
all right.
Was there a discussion at our last meeting in the way northwest, way up there? Almost up the north end, Kind of goes right through the oh, I see, the purple line goes around those, doesn't
Yeah,
it? Okay.
I will say that bumping it out, because we didn't propose any thoroughfares in that area, it won't provide a whole lot for the time being. We would review subdivisions in that area because it's within the boundaries of the plan, but because there's not an alignment right there, wouldn't result in any dedications in a subdivision. So I'm just gonna throw that out there.
All this would do would allow those existing subdivisions, if they so desire, to request to be annexed to the city. Is that correct?
No, the boundaries of the master street plan won't have any
Well,
effect
say that again, they won't what?
The master street plan wouldn't allow or disallow an annexation. It would just clarify what we have prioritized for review and potential discussion and or request for streets to be in alignment with proposed streets on the map.
It doesn't require us to put a street in either, does it? Okay.
If we don't have any alignments to there, is it 100% necessary to include it? Those are my thoughts.
I would say this is just based on the discussion we had at the last meeting. Because we could, the one with the purple lines includes what we discussed at the last meeting, and the one above that is the one that was presented at the last meeting. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
And it's a little, I don't know what happened with the GIS, but it's purple here, and it sort of, it's hard to see right there. I think he accidentally made the wrong.
So Steve's question again.
So the one that we're being shown right now is not the one being proposed. The one below it is the one being proposed.
I think you need to choose between the two.
Gotcha.
Yeah. They're exactly the same with the exception of that boundary, which was something that got discussed at the last P&Z meeting, and staff was asked to show both versions.
In the left-hand corner on the header, that's one way to distinguish them quickly is the one dated that says it was printed 4/27, and then the bottom one says printed 4/29. So the one that says it's printed 4/29 is the one that includes the changes that we had requested at the last meeting to bump it out. And I believe, does that one also have the elimination of that line, that or is it Oak and?
The Fifth Street, that should be off both of them.
Okay, oh, good, okay. I see the streets. Oh, yes, yep.
So the question is, which version do we show as a public forum, I guess, right? Tracy?
That's correct.
So Commissioner, which, behind door number 1 or door number 2? Would you,
So I like the one that says printed 4/29/2021, which would be the second one.
That'd be the expanded one that included some of our discussion of the last meeting, correct? Do we need a formal motion on that or just a consensus?
You can take a motion if it makes it cleaner.
Right.
It's not, this isn't set in stone, it's just. You could, I'll kind of nod. You like the one on 24/29 or debate the merits of either?
I like the 427.
What?
You can flip a coin.
It doesn't, you guys, I think it's 6 to 1, half a dozen the other. I don't think it makes a difference, but you asked which one we like, so that's the one I like.
Is there anything wrong with posting both of them? Or does that add to confusion?
I think it adds to confusion for the
Okay.
public, yeah.
Okay.
We need to get it down to one version.
So
Robert, are you guys indifferent?
yeah, it really doesn't matter. Lance?
I like the one where we knock off and take in Highland Terrace, but that's my preference, but.
So is that the one on the 29th?
That was the second one.
The second.
Second one, yeah.
Tom?
I like the first one personally. You know, so we're gonna leave it up to you, Robert. Now you got a 2 and a 2.
I'd like to confuse the public by having both of
Yeah.
them.
It really doesn't matter to me, Lance, I don't think. We're not, whatever you guys want to do, right, Lance?
I think I'll probably be dead before anybody annexes anything around.
Right.
Here, so.
There you go. Yeah. That's what we're
You
sucking
okay with
at.
the first one?
Hmm?
You okay with the
Oh,
first
yeah.
one? All right, let's do our first version and we'll see what the comments are.
Okay, so the one that's printed 427.
Yeah.
Then we need to try to choose some dates and times that a couple of commissioners can be there present to listen to the public. That way it helps avoid a quorum anyway and complicates things, so. You're looking at daytime, nighttime,
Maybe, definitely a night meeting. I don't know if it'll be 2 night meetings or 1 night and 1 day.
I would volunteer for a day if you have one during the day, because I know other people work, so.
Okay.
I think regardless of what time of day we choose, there will be people who are displeased.
Sure.
I say we just decide what we're gonna do, gives us plenty of time to post it, and we move forward. I think you suggested in August,
June.
no, August for adoption. Which was
Possibly,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, that date I think could be met if we feel at the July meeting that we wanna go above and beyond. I might suggest a special meeting in July to discuss a final draft before adoption. At the 3rd Tuesday that we don't normally hold, and then that, just get it done in August. That's what I would like to see. As long as no one has any kind of time conflicts. August.
Well, let's do one in the daytime, one in the evening. Anybody have any particular dates that they're not going to be around?
Well, of course, everything is dependent upon whether I win the lottery or not.
If you do, whatever one you volunteer for, I'll fill
Okay.
I'll fill in for you.
Great.
The 3rd week of June is a meeting-free week as far as P and Z or council, so just throwing out the week of the 14th through the 18th is a week we probably would have tried to target.
Do you think if we had one on a 3rd Tuesday, we could get canceled to take a break for having all their dang meetings that they have every other week? I mean, every week except for this one. I'm kidding, Michael. I'm being a smart aleck, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you can go for it. On the 14th, I know that Ride the Rockies is blowing through Cortez, so then on the 15th, I don't know, that's a Monday. So just throwing that out there. I'm not available at all that week, but I don't have to be anywhere.
That week,
Ride the Rockies on June 14th.
They start, I mean, they should be arriving here on the 14th.
Yeah. So they race and they land in Cortez and spend the night, and then they leave the following morning. And who knows, it may not amount to anything, or it might. But either way, that's my super busy first
Summer.
back to the world of the living week. But I don't have to be, I'm not excited about having a target on my back for this, so it doesn't matter to me.
Whatever, for me personally, whatever you said, if I've got enough time to schedule around it, I'll be fine, so.
Is there a particular day of the week that's better than the other, or?
So if it is the third week of June, all the days are, fine except for Friday. No one wants to come to that meeting.
I mean, like a Tuesday versus a Thursday or something like that.
Yeah, obviously, all the other weeks of the month, we've got conflicts, and then Wednesdays on the first week of the month, we have certain reservations. During the day, we don't have conflict. I mean, are we thinking 2 weekday meetings? Does that seem reasonable to everyone, or does anyone desire a Saturday? Okay, yeah, summertime, I don't think people really want to do that.
Well, 17th is a Thursday, actually, if you, once you got set up for it, if you wanted to do one in the morning and then one in the evening,
We could do that if we.
I can do an evening one. I mean,
On the same day? I'd recommend splitting it out in case people are on vacation one week and not the other.
We could do Tuesday, Thursday, or Wednesday, Thursday.
But like splitting it out in a different week.
2 different weeks is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just,
How busy is the 21st through the 25th?
Right now, just council on the 22nd, so we could do.
Something on the 24th? One the 17th, one the 24th, is that the pleasure of the commission? How about an evening one on the 17th? Then you'll have gone through it once. And then the next week during the day on the 24th, the council meeting, at least you'll have had the run through once and have an idea of what might happen.
Okay, so the time of daytime meeting, or we thinking lunchtime or afternoon? I wouldn't recommend morning, but.
I would suggest probably lunchtime. If someone cannot make a meeting, maybe they have lunch hour, they can swing by. And then the evening time, as I said, for 6:30, like we had all of our other meetings.
If you do this sticky note thing, it's kind of like a come and go, so lunchtime would be, make sense, they don't have to be there the whole time, come make their comment.
this probably isn't in the budget, but could there be like, is there opportunity to have snacks or refreshments so nobody's too hangry?
We could. We'll get some peanuts and.
Quinoa, what?
Some quinoa.
Figure out the mayor's social budget, right, that one.
Cookies?
Yes, we can do apple slices.
So one quick question I have is, at the July 16th, staff will present the final draft to the planning commission, for final discussion prior to adoption beginning August 3rd, 2021. Is it 100% necessary to push it a whole nother month, or can we just have a map posted of what the final draft is, and we can take a glance at it, and we can just adopt it that night? Is it necessary to push it out another month if we have no meetings or anything scheduled in the month of July?
So you have to have the final draft ready for discussion of adoption ready when you notice it. So if there's a lot of changes being recommended in those two June meetings, it will be as late as the 24th, which is less than 2 weeks from the 6th, and we have to notice it 15 days, I think, before we bring it to you. So we just need to know what draft we're advertising before we advertise it, which is why it's pushed out another month.
I see.
Yeah. Those testing notifications.
And I guess Stephen, versus having a special meeting in July, the August 2nd sounds,
Sure. My one suggestion is I think what you have laid out is good. But I say that as a commission, we decide that August 3rd, we're adopting a master streets plan one way. And let's quit kicking this thing down the road, let's get something done.
I agree.
this sounds like a good game plan. Back to the open forum meetings, we can make the meeting. Oops. I can attend the one in the evening on what date? 24th, I think.
Oh, 17 is the one you said.
Oh, 17th in the evening, yeah, I'll commit to that one. Unless somebody else really wants.
What date is that, Robert?
That's a Thursday, the June 17th.
What month?
June.
There's been so much going on.
Right there, June 17th.
June the 17th.
And the 24th is the lunchtime.
Yes,
I can commit to the 17th for the evening.
So-
Lance, were you volunteering for a lunchtime meeting earlier?
Wait a minute. Are we gonna have a morning meeting on the 17th and an evening meeting on the 17th?
no. The lunch meeting is on the 24th. Correct?
That's
And that's what we're, okay.
Have we got times set? You know, you got a morning meeting on June 17th. What time in the morning?
No, the meeting on the 17th will be sometime in the evening. We don't have a time set.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know.
The June 24th, probably noon to 1:30.
For the 17th, I suggest we just do it at 6:30, our normal meeting time.
I'm okay with that.
6:30, the regular meeting time on the 17th. Okay.
So Tom, is there one that you would like to attend?
I'll have to go home and check my calendar.
Okay,
I've got, this month is almost already filled up,
okay.
so I'll have to check what I've got going on next month. I know I've got 3 meetings next month, but I'm not sure which dates they are.
Okay. If we have more that want to attend one or the other, I will gladly be the flexible one and go to whatever one. So Tom, if you can make one, let Tracy know. If you
Okay, I
can't-
can make one of them, but I just don't know which one.
If you can't make either one, let Tracy know also.
Okay.
So right now, it's Stephen and I for the 17th in the evening. If that needs to change, we will let Tracy know and she can get hold of us.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. That give you some direction?
I hope so.
Your microphone is off, just in case you wanted it that way.
So in the packet, it says that you are looking for us to make a motion. To accept the above changes and amendments to the draft master street plan map.
That would be nice.
Do you want to include the 2 open forums in that motion too, while you're at it?
You should say the date of the printed date, since the above plan show, or the above map would be 2 maps.
Okay, dated 4/27/2021. Correct?
Is it? Yes, yes.
Then- Okay. But we don't need to include the meetings that you just stated in the motion. We just need to say that we approve the.
I guess, because you gotta publicize the meetings anyway, right? Yeah, okay.
Okay, so we're just making a motion to approve the draft edits that they're proposing. Okay. Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make the motion to accept the above changes and edits to the draft master street plan map dated 4/27/2021. And for staff to move forward with public meetings to discuss the updated plan.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Let's proceed to vote.
McDaniel,
Or yes.
Levy,
Yes.
Butler,
Yes.
Candelaria,
Yes.
Reed.
Yes. Next item is just building permits, any other items of business? Any previous business? Guess I'd entertain a motion to adjourn then.
So moved.
Second.
Can I make a statement?
Yes, please. Oh, I'm not sure, sorry, I'm sorry.
Is that under citizen participation? State your name and address, please, Mark.
Name's Mike Levy, 491 East Coronado Avenue. I'm hearing impaired. We're at a hearing aid, and I was using one of these devices today, and I can hear very well when people speak into the microphone. When you're looking at each other and sitting back from the microphone, I can't hear you. And some of the council members or the staff or the city planning and zoning commissioners may have hearing impairment. So I urge you to speak into the microphone when you're carrying on conversations like the dates, when you're gonna have the evening, morning outreach, just so all the people in the audience or the people on the days can hear you. That's all. Thank you.
Hey, Mike, yeah, thanks for that information. I noticed that when I tried to turn, I tried to still stay in front of the microphone. Were you still able to hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you okay. There's a couple on this end, you know who you are. I could hear you, but it wasn't clear. And, it causes less confusion if we can hear you clearly.
Okay, thank you. So noted, and we will work on that.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Mayor, I appreciate you making that comment too, because that's why I was so confused as to the dates and the times. I could not understand what Becky was saying or what Lance was saying. Now, I had no trouble with Steve, because Steve had his mic on and was talking into it.
Yeah, I know, Tom, I can see the confusion right there about the dates and the times.
Yeah,
So I figured it's better to bring something now, instead of just letting it ride. Because I just started using one of these last council meeting, and when you're speaking into the microphone, it's really clear. But when you're not, when you're sitting back and you have a mask on, it's muffled.
yeah.
So it really helps, and it helps with the recording too of you when you're speaking into the microphone.
Okay.
Appreciate you saying something, Mr. Mayor.
I know you'd like that.
I have been at home for a really long time, so I forgot. So thank you. And I don't know.
I'd entertain a motion to adjourn now.
I've done that.
Oh, do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second to adjourn. Well, yeah, I think I asked for that vote already, didn't I?
Yeah.
Okay.
Butler,
Yes.
Candelaria,
Yes.
Levy,
Yes.
McDaniel,
Yes.
Ramey,
Yes. Meeting adjourned.
Praise the Lord.